There's a phrase that says, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they attack you, and then you win. Now, if you look at the state of current politics and the situation with the authorities at the moment, with the policing bill, with the way they're treating travellers and environmental activists, this is definitely entering the attack you stage. And we've spent 30 years in the laugh at you and ignore you. Now it's reaching a boil point, and I believe that really is because if there's any system you look at, they're broken. Whatever neoliberalist, consumerist model you look at, it's dysfunctional, and the vast majority of the population now see that.
And at night time, if you come down here with a head torch and lie on your tummy just sort of near where Rob is on the grass and look down, you can see all the insects in the water, busy being alive and doing amazing things. It's just like so full of life.
What we've created at Trevone Quarry was combining a nature reserve with an industrial estate, with also some living. This was a derelict, an industrial wasteland, and we've repopulated that with people that want to, with indigenous heritage crafts, people that provide climate resilience, so that you can have things made here. We can make anything really on site. We don't need to buy it from China and get it on eBay. With between the engineers, the blacksmiths, the sculptors, the woodworkers.
I trained as a blacksmith and as a jeweller. So this building was built to be a forge. So it's about 200 years old, we think. One of the oldest buildings probably on this site. For Cornwall, it's one of a very small handful of still working forges in Cornwall. So it's a very rare building that it's still being used as a forge.
So there's mechanical, practical element, but there's also the social need. We also want to create a social community, so we've created a new community, a beautiful way where we can work and live in harmony. And that's scared the council. The formal reason that it's scared them is that we're not sustainable enough, that we're visually objectionable, that we're doing quantifiable heritage harm to the delicate landscape. We're in contravention of planning policy, yet that's simply not the case. We believe the more likely reason is they're simply scared that what we do represents a thin end of the wedge, and if everyone starts realising you can just buy a bit of old land and live in harmony with nature, and you can build a house for a few £1,000 and live in it, and you don't need to spend 20 years paying back a mortgage and having then the entire economic model essentially collapses. So I believe that that's more the reason. It's not like an overt conscious agenda, but that is what underpins it. Within about a square mile of here, there's probably another 20 or so communities and people, more than 20 people, but 20 communities living the way that we're living, in harmony with nature and much lower environmental impact. Now, most of these people are doing it with their heads below the radar. They're hiding from the authorities and trying to avoid being detected. Now, to me, this is the tragedy. These are the people that should be heralded and cherished as ideological aspirations. Now, the emerging policies and the way that the council is looking, that does embrace what we're doing, and that does say this is what we need to do, positive net biodiversity gain and all these words, but basically living in harmony with where you are with a lower impact.
So it's called a closed loop waste system. So it's a permaculture principle where all of the waste produced here kind of gets recycled here.
Yet the biggest problem for all these people that are trying to live sustainably is the council and the planning department. And now this doesn't need to be this way, and it won't be this way. In another 10-15 years time, I believe we will have resolved this, and we will be able to be supported, as we should be, by the council and cherished as places of best practice.